Episode 2, the X Factors. So, we at Economy of One define X Factors as unknowns that you respond to in the interview or opportunity interaction process. X Factors shed light on how you really feel, and the longer and more frequent you interact, the faster that they come into focus. So what are the X Factors? X Factor number 1 is, do you like these people? Yes, likability. Do you like them? Do they like you? X Factor number 2, do you trust these people? Why or why not? X Factor number 3, fit. Do I fit in with these people? Do I want to associate with them and hang out with them? Think about a time when you've had great chemistry with a team, an organization, or an assignment. There was an integrity that was embedded in the situation that you could sense. How do other people evaluate your X Factors? There are several things that you can control that you probably haven't thought about that you need to think about. Okay, so these are some things that you can control that other people evaluate you on that you probably haven't thought about in a while. So number 1, your energy level. Do you project a positive and vibrant energy? Or, on the other hand, do you seem to lack enthusiasm? Are you motivated? What does your body language say about you? Do you seem proactive? And do you offer follow through? What does your body language say about you, and how does it reflect your energy levels? You can control this. How about sophistication? Are you up and are you comfortable with the latest technologies, the latest trends or developments in your industry? What do your online posts say about your extracurricular activities? How well-rounded of a person are you? How about authenticity? Are you telling people in an interview what you think they want to hear, or are you being authentic? Are you being genuine? Are you being vulnerable? How about outlook? Are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Do you affect or do you infect others? What does social media suggest about you? That's a sensitive question. A lot of people I know who have been in transition a long time take to social media as a comfortable friend where they can have a drink and vent about how they feel about a recent interview or how they might be dealing with depression or sadness. And I want to encourage you to ask the question, if an employer read this post, how might they interpret it? You need to be careful with what you put online, and your outlook is often reflected by the types of social media that you post. Are you trustworthy? Are you likable? How do you fit in with their team, their values, their culture? And finally, another thing that you can control is your professional presentation. How you present yourself physically matters. So X Factors that you can control. While you can't control everything, you can control impressions that you leave with other people. You can leave a strong, clear impression and manage expectations. You can control your human brand, which are your clothes, your appearance, and your consistency of message, both in how you present yourself physically and how you present yourself digitally. A great example of people who stay on message are people like Oprah. She is very careful in how she chooses her clothing so that she's approachable to her audience, yet she looks very thoughtful and intellectual, especially with the way she chooses her glass frames and uses those as a centerpiece of her face. Kate Middleton, William's wife, heir to the throne. Yes, Kate presents herself often in very conservative traditional clothing. She seems very approachable and she doesn't seem lavish in the way she presents herself. Steve Jobs had an excellent human brand. He had the black turtleneck, the simple jeans. He wore this consistently in every presentation, and it was part of his elegant, no-nonsense approach to his human brand and also the way he managed his company. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, for example, consider the rock star Pink. She has pink hair, she wears whatever she wants in her videos, and she projects a rock star image. What does your brand say about you? You can work on your energy, your mindset, your outlook, and your communication clarity, and this is just the beginning of the list. So what if you're an entrepreneur? What kind of X factors can you control if you're an entrepreneur? Well, number 1, X factors often are the foundation of your unique vision. The Bible tells us that without a vision, people perish. So if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, what is your vision? You're called for a reason. What is your why? Why are you passionate about your business idea? How does it play to your proficiency or where you believe you could be more profitable? I want you to go back to the story of you, your perfect job description, and understand why you're doing what you're doing. Your X factor, how you uniquely view or experience things, is often what you wish the marketplace offered that is an unmet need. Did you catch that? Your X factor, which is how you uniquely view or experience things, is often what you wish the marketplace offered that is an unmet need. Examples of this in entrepreneurs include Sarah Blakely. She was the founder of Spanx. She felt that women should have a silhouette that had no panty lines and that a women's undergarments could be much better, so she created Spanx. And she is one of the best stories of a self-made multimillionaire who saw a market need, stepped up and met it. Additionally, when you think about your idea, I encourage you to do research. Share that idea openly with many people. Do not hoard the idea or think that you're the first person on the planet that has had the idea. Go do mini focus groups, survey people, find someone who wants to be your first customer, cut them a deal and partner with them so that you can start building your portfolio of experience. Give yourself freedom to experiment, to learn, to improve, and to move forward to see if what you really want to do is what you're pursuing. A great example of someone who looked at their X factor as a foundation for their business was a friend of mine who really was passionate about starting a coffee shop. She shared with me, Elizabeth, I love coffee shops. I love the experience I have when I go to them, and it's my dream to start a coffee shop. And I said to her, well, that's wonderful. Do you know what will be involved if you do that? And she said, yeah, I think I've got the money set aside, and I'm looking at locations, and is there anything else I should do? And I told her, I said, you know what I would do? I would go to work for a coffee shop just to make sure, because you've not had that experience. You love coffee shops, but you've never worked for one. Just to make sure you're ready to own one, go to work for one for a few weeks and decide if this is something you really want to do. Well, 2 months later, I get this phone call, and she said, oh, Elizabeth, I am so glad you told me to go to work at a coffee shop, because after working at a coffee shop, I discovered I love coffee shops, but I don't ever want to own one. Working at one was enough for me. When I think about my own mom, who owns a winery in California, I'm reminded, had my mom worked at a tasting room for a winery before she opened one, I'm not sure she necessarily would have signed up to work every weekend for the rest of her life in a tasting room. I encourage you to go to work for people who are doing what you want to do. This will give you experience to determine if this is what you really want to do, or you can start small and do it on your terms.